Today, many top companies are beginning to experience the effects of a global recession. In order to avoid the impending US recession, investors are relying on defensive equities, value investing, and the art of navigating difficult times. As a matter of fact, companies owned by Warren Buffett are struggling with historically high inflation, interest rates, and restrictive financing. Despite this, 5 CEOs of Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway are succeeding against the odds and versus the challenging economic environment. As frightened banks cut back on funding, American businesses are dealing with rising expenses of goods and services, as well as growing credit constraint. This is also true of Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway, which owns numerous companies in a variety of sectors and industries. It can be shocking to hear that the renowned investors conglomerate is feeling the effects of inflation, and this has increased the price of everything from plastics, transportation, and building to sugar and gold. Its subsidiaries are also noticing indications that their clients, partners, and suppliers are feeling the pinch as a result of the price increases, rising debt interest rates, and potentially even restricted access to credit. Buffett reiterated his time-tested advice in his speech at the Berkshire Hathaway annual shareholders meeting in 2022, saying that one of the best ways to combat inflation is by honing your abilities and striving to be the best in your industry. He stated that certain professions, such that of a doctor and a lawyer, will offer you a portion of what they generate in exchange for the services you provide. Given Berkshire Hathaway Inc.'s close ties to the American economy, Warren Buffett, whose financial expertise is highly sought after, made a somber prognosis for his own company. The golden era may be coming to an end. A long forecast recession is expected to impede growth in the economy this year, so the billionaire investor anticipates falling profitability across the bulk of Berkshire's enterprises. The remarks he made came after Berkshire reported an over 13% increase in operating revenues to $8.07 billion for the first quarter. Due to the extent of its operations, which include a railroad, electric utilities, and retail, Berkshire is frequently used as a gauge of the economic performance of the country. Buffett has acknowledged that the phenomenal expansion of the US economy over the years was a major factor in Berkshire's accomplishment, but his forecast of a downturn at his companies come at a turmoil at a local financial institution threatens to restrict lending as hyperinflation and more extensive interest rates continue to strike. Charlie Munger, who has joined the legendary investor Warren Buffett on the platform, said that the current challenging economic climate will also render it more challenging for value traders, who often purchase equities that appear inexpensive in comparison to the basic worth of the companies. Moving on, here are the 5 CEOs of Buffett Berkshire Hathaway's beating the odds. Number 1, Brooks Running. Production in Vietnam had to stop in 2021 due to the coronavirus, but Brooks Running has also had to contend with rising oil prices that have driven up the price of its synthetic materials, as well as substantial boost in manufacturing and shipping expenses. The running shoe company managed to produce sales records for the 3 years in a row by increasing prices to somewhat counterbalance some of the higher costs. Weber expressed optimism for future growth, believing that the need for running shoes may outlast economic downturns. When they are working and have a stable financial situation, people make an investment in their fitness, and they perceive jogging as a practical approach to reduce stress and stay active. Number 2, See's Candies. See's Candies is praised by Buffett primarily due to its long pricing position provided by its well-known brand, the current measure of the company's capacity to shift expenses onto customers. According to CEO Pat Egan of the boxed chocolate manufacturer, he claimed that the price of ingredients has increased by roughly 30% on average in the last year alone, with dairy and sugar prices rising the most. The producer of boxed chocolates was purchased by the renowned investor Berkshire Hathaway for $25 million in 1972, and since that time, the company has generated well over $2 billion in pre-tax profits for Berkshire Hathaway. Due to its well-known brand, low capital requirements, and outstanding cash generation, See's has been referred to Buffett as his dream business. In an interview, Pat Egan, the CEO of C, emphasized the advantages of Buffett's support, described how he is coping with the pandemic, and bragged about his expansion plans. To protect themselves from rising prices for nuts and chocolate, C's uses advanced purchasing. However, other ingredients are only offered at spot rates, and as the business doesn't utilize preservatives, it cannot build up an excessive amount of inventory. Additionally, dependable suppliers who decline to pass on their increased costs to C's in 2021 have been compelled to increase their prices. C's won't have to be concerned about debt thanks to Berkshire's support, but Egan issued a warning that its clients and suppliers would be feeling the pinch as a result of increased interest rates and more restrictive lending. He would not reveal C's revenue, but he did point out that the company's e-commerce division has risen significantly in recent years and is still flourishing. He expressed his hope that 2023 would be C's third consecutive year of record-breaking earnings. By the way, remember to like, subscribe, and comment. Number 3, Borsheims. The issues faced by Omaha's Borsheims, a jewelry business owned by Berkshire Hathaway and located in Buffett's hometown, including rising pricing and labor shortage. CEO Karen Gorak noted that the city's low unemployment rate has made it challenging to recruit and retain staff, forcing her to offer a substantially greater salary. In addition to the increase in price, Borsheims is also under pressure on other costs. When the epidemic slowed down international trade, transport corporations raised prices. As a matter of fact, packaging costs have more than doubled, making it difficult for Borsheims to maintain its already tight profit margins. The head of the jewelry company claimed that since only a few exceptions have experienced problems thus far, she was unconcerned about the ongoing turbulence in the financial industry. She did, however, mention the possibility of a downturn in the housing market as higher mortgage rates put pressure on prices. Like Helzberg Hampton, Gorak observed that amid the current economic challenges, the demand for luxury items appears to be strong. She speculated that perhaps after feeling anxious and attempting to save money throughout the pandemic, people are now having fun and feasting. Number 4, Helzberg Diamonds. After an accidental encounter involving Buffett and Barnett Helzberg Jr. on Fifth Avenue in New York, Helzberg Diamonds was taken over by Berkshire in 1995. During the global pandemic, CEO Brad Hampton showed his willingness to seize an opportunity. Helzberg reorganized the jewelry retailer finances and inventory when its stores were shut down, closed nearly a quarter of them permanently, and now has 166 locations. Investor demand for haven assets has recently increased due to concerns over persistent inflation, a declining currency, increased banking turmoil, and a recession that would affect stock values. Helzberg's expenses have increased as a result of the departure. According to Hampton, customer demand has so far proven to be resilient. One explanation may be the enduring appeal of necklaces and earrings as gifts for special occasions. However, Hampton pointed out that compared to the epidemic, when people had extra money, more of Helzberg's customers have adapted today to pay for their goods. Number 5, Dairy Queen. According to CEO Troy Bader of Dairy Queen, rising pricing has caused problems for the company's franchisees. In relation to price increases, Dairy Queen CEO Troy Bader emphasized the difficulty the restaurant business is facing, especially in the tight labor market. Franchisees of the fast food chain have now substantially higher costs of construction, building supplies, and equipment than they did a few years ago. This makes deciding to invest in a new site more difficult and increases the pressure on Dairy Queen to increase sales through marketing and enticing menu options. The CEO claimed that it is the biggest challenge that the franchise is facing, and it impacts them in 3 different fronts: the franchises, the suppliers, and the distributors. With approximately 7,300 stores globally, Dairy Queen has recorded sale records for 3 years consecutively. Although Bader said that demand has stayed strong this year, customers may be switching from casual eating to quick service eateries and being a little pickier about their purchases. According to Bader, the dining rooms at about 20% of Dairy Queen franchise stores are still shut down due to personnel shortages. Above all, if global inflation continues to rise, It's only the people who can make certain moves to protect themselves against its effects. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you click the like and subscribe buttons. Most importantly, don't forget to click that bell icon to be notified when a new video is uploaded. Also, feel free to leave a remark if you have any recommendations for videos. From No Cap Capitalist, have a great day, everyone, and thanks once again.